Good morning, class. How are you all? As we have discussed the chapter 1 of chemistry, few parts, that is solid, liquid and gas. Now we will discuss the change of state of matter, that how a change of state takes place. There are two main factors which play the major role to change the state of matter, in which first we will discuss by changing temperature, and in the second way we will discuss by changing pressure. Now how by changing temperature the state of change takes place? Firstly, as we have taken a solid, solid becomes liquid and then liquid becomes gas. How it's possible? For example, if we will see ice and we are providing heat to ice, it becomes water, and if we are further providing heat to water, it becomes vapor. The reverse process is also possible there. Now how it happens, how it takes place? Suppose we are providing heat to the solid, then what will happen? The particles of the solid gain kinetic energy, they move faster. As they move faster, there is the interplanar spacing which is between the particles of the atom solid state lies, that is getting increased. So by increasing the space, the atoms of the solid goes farther from each other, so now they convert into liquid state. And whenever we are providing heat to the liquid states, they are gaining more kinetic energy and they are moving more faster. By moving more faster, they are getting far off apart, and by getting far off apart, then they becomes a state of gas, because there are much space between the atoms of the gas. So as we are increasing the heat, as we are increasing the temperature, the interplanar spacing between the atoms or molecules of the state is getting increased, so the change of state takes place. By another way, that is by changing pressure, how the change in state takes place. Firstly, we will take gas. If we are increasing the pressure on gas, the particles of the gas come close to each other, and particles of the gas come close to each other, then the interplanar spacing is getting reduced, so the gas becomes liquid here. And when we are further applying pressure, so the particles of liquid are come close to each other. After that they becomes a solid, because in solids the interplanar spacing is very less as compared to liquids or gases, so it becomes into the solid state. Now the next is by changing temperature, how there are different changes takes place, in which first we will discuss melting point. Now what do you mean by melting point? The temperature at which a solid starts to melt, that is called the melting point. Solid starts to melt and form liquid. The definition of melting point is that the temperature at which a solid melts to form liquid at atmospheric pressure. What do you mean by atmospheric pressure? Pressure exerted by atmosphere is called atmospheric pressure. So the definition is the temperature at which a solid melts to form liquid at atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. This is the definition of melting point. Now the next definition is latent heat of fusion. It is very important. What do you mean by latent heat of fusion? The word latent, its meaning is hidden heat, which is hidden in the state of the matter. Now the definition of latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat required to change 1 kilogram solid to its liquid state, that is called latent heat of fusion. Now let us understand it by some example. Suppose we have a beaker here. In this beaker we are placing cubes of ice. Here the cubes of ice we are taking place. Now the burner is here. When we on the burner, the heat is provided to the ice cubes. When the heat is provided to the ice cube, it starts to melt. It starts becoming vapors. As we are providing heat, so we are as the thermometer is placed there, or we are providing heat to it, there must be a change in temperature takes place. But there is no change in temperature takes place. It remains at 0 degree Celsius, which is the temperature of ice. Now, as we are providing heat to it, where the heat goes? The heat goes to change the state of matter. That means the entire heat goes to change the ice cubes into the state of liquid. That means whenever the whole of the ice cubes become liquid, till the temperature remains 0 degrees Celsius. And when the whole of the ice cubes convert into liquid, after that if we are providing heat to it, then there is a change in temperature takes place, or there is a rise in temperature of the thermometer takes place. So this is the latent heat of fusion.